Hi, I'm Linda. This is Linda's World, and this is Self-Care Sundays. Tonight's episode is going to be more brief than episodes in the past for two specific reasons. Reason number one, very late last night, I uploaded a video, apart from my usual uploading schedule, called Joker and Mental Health, depicting my version of what the Joker film starring Joaquin Phoenix says about mental health in society. And reason number two, a lot of what I'm going to say this evening is kind of already been said, and I think that many of us stuck in quarantine for the past few weeks have been scrolling our phones nonstop, looking at exactly the same things that I'm going to say. And it's not my intention to recreate the wheel or bore the pants off you. But I do have some thoughts that could be original. So if you'd like to know what those things are, well then, stay tuned, because this episode of Linda's World starts right now. I'd like to begin tonight's video, if I may, with a question that I'm hoping that you will answer in the comment section beneath this video. How's your quarantine going? How are you? What's happening in your life? Are you a person who has felt the actual impact of the pandemic in the past couple of weeks? Or has a loved one been impacted by the pandemic? Are you a person stuck at home with your children, navigating your way through remote education? Are you a single person who is alone and missing your friends and finding social distancing to be a problem? Are you a person who is a loner anyway and really not impacted by social distancing at all? Are you a person who is missing wages because your job has been deemed non-essential? Or are you a person who's going to work every day because your job has been deemed essential and you are fearing for your health and safety? Regardless of your situation, I'm anxious to know. So drop your comments below and I will absolutely get back to you in a timely fashion, because I'd love to start a dialogue about exactly how this situation that has been affecting the United States and abroad in the past couple of weeks, months, however long this has been going on, is impacting your life. I'd like to know. And now, my thoughts on the situation. Thursday marked the 1 week mark that I have been officially socially distancing. The last day that I went to work, I'm a New York City public school teacher, was on Wednesday, the day before I officially began to quarantine. And I have been remote teaching for about a week now, and I kind of prefer it to regular teaching, and I would be totally enamored with the system in general if I could just do this for the next 12 years before my retirement. That'd be awesome. Nevertheless, that's probably the only bright light in this situation. I have been impacted by the virus in very minimal ways that I don't really care to spend too much time nitpicking about, because I know that other people are facing more serious issues. You know, things like, for example, my dog desperately needs to go to the groomer, or I did my own nails, or, minor complaints like that I think really don't have that special a place in our dialogue, because there are so many people facing a good deal more than that, So that's pretty much what's been happening in my personal life. Now, you're going to say, Linda, I'm about 3 minutes into this video, and I still don't know why this is Self-Care Sundays. Well, I'm about to tell you why. Here's the thing. In this difficult time, some of the things that we have been accustomed to doing as a self-care ritual have been taken from us. Those of us who get our hair and nails done regularly. Those of us who depend on deep tissue massage. Those of us who like to go running in the park. Those of us who like to meet people regularly on Friday or Saturday nights for drinking, a game of pool, bowling, whatever it is that we do. Those things have been taken away from us temporarily. And it's kind of hard to film a Self-Care Sundays where I tell people to look out for yourselves and minimize your levels of stress when the stress is mounting all around us and we are bombarded with complicated news stories, and Trump is saying one thing and Cuomo is saying another, and who did what to whom, and what country said this and what country said that, and how many people are dead and how many people are recovering. It could be mind-boggling. Conversations about toilet paper and hand sanitizer and sneezing into your elbow, and all of these things that we've heard nothing but for the past couple of weeks can really start to weigh on a person and make a person say, well, Linda, to hell with your self-care. I'm just trying to stay alive. I don't have time to deal with that kind of stuff. Well, here's where I say again, something that I've said in many self-care Sundays before this one. Self-care at its core has nothing to do with going for a manicure. Self-care at its core has nothing to do with attending your weekly yoga class. Self-care has very little to do with going out for a drink with the guys, okay? Self-care at its core is preservation, in as much as it is humanly possible, of your sanity, your spirituality, and your emotional well-being, especially in times of crisis. And I think that we can all agree that this is officially a time of crisis. For some of us, it may be the biggest time of crisis that we've ever seen. Okay, now I have heard some people say that this conjures up images of 9/11 or the war in Yugoslavia in the 1990s, or for some older people, their experiences in the Vietnam War, or for some very older people, their experiences in World War II. A lot of people have said that it's a little more difficult than a war because you know how to dodge bullets, but the virus is an invisible enemy. And how do you fight something that is in the air that you cannot see or you cannot hear? Well, here's the thing. The alternative to fear has always been our faith. I am not a religious person, but I do believe in the universe unfolding as it should. And right now the universe is giving us a huge test. I agree there. We're definitely being tested. Now, I might not have faith in an organized religion or some guy with a beard up in the clouds, but I do have faith in humanity's ability to persevere in times of trouble. I do have faith in the universe unfolding as it should. I do have faith in circumstances that are beyond your control, eventually reaching a breaking point and a new reality emerging to which we have to rise to an occasion, meet our new reality, accept our fate, understand it, and carve out a new life for ourselves, depending on the new circumstances. I have faith that we can do that. I know that I can, and I'm calling upon you to look within yourself and figure out that when push comes to shove, you can too. You've got this. So I think I've said my piece this evening. Self-Care Sundays is a place where a person or persons can come every Sunday night on this page and look for inspiration as they need it to make sure that their sanity, as I said before, and emotional well-being and spiritual well-being is preserved. It's a place where you can get the psychological tools you need to identify toxicity in your life, give it the boot if necessary, hear an amusing anecdote or two, and get the tools you need to experience life to the fullest, even when times are tough. I think that I've said my piece as I've indicated before, so I'm not going to talk your ear off any further. This is going to be the shortest Self-Care Sundays on record, but I do want to say before I go that if anyone wants to vent about this, if anyone needs to have a conversation, start the dialogue about how it is that we can get through the threat of our physical safety being out there, the complete obliteration of our lives, in many cases our financial lives, and that's not even to mention our social lives. I would love to start that dialogue with you because self-care begins in the self, but the good news is that it doesn't have to end there. It actually ends with all of us together as a community. So, like I said, I invite the dialogue. If you're not yet a member of Linda's World, I suggest very highly that you subscribe because there is going to be a hell of a lot of content coming up in the next couple of weeks. The mayor of my city, New York, has informed us that this is going to last at least until May. So therefore, I'm home with nothing to do. Well, that's not true. I have schoolwork, housework, and a dog. But I do have plenty of hours to devote to this channel, to give it my all, and to continue to churn out the most amazing, inspirational content, and humorous ones as well, that you've ever seen before. So come join us in Linda's World, and we'll get through this together. You have as good a week as you possibly can under the circumstances, and I'll see you on Top 10 Tuesdays with something interesting to take your mind off your troubles, and mine as well. Good night.